Hello and welcome again to Basingstoke College of Technology's virtual open event. In this evening's session, we're going to give you an insight into the different ways of learning that Basingstoke College of Technology offer, utilising technology to engage our students. I'm Victoria and I'll be hosting this session. Just a couple of pointers before we start. The talk should last about 30 minutes. Please do ask questions to our speaker. We would love to answer them. Leading today's session is Digital Innovation Specialist and Lecturer of Creative Media Production, Scott Hayden. We're really lucky to have him here with us today. Scott, good evening.
Hello everybody. So yes, my name is Scott Hayden. I'm in charge of all things digital in terms of teaching and learning here at the college. So it's part of my role to help all staff and all students across all subjects to use technology to enhance the way we learn and understand. As part of all of our courses, we've got a digital induction. This is in the first couple of weeks where every single student, whether you're a makeup student or hair, engineering, or here we can see some art students on the right-hand side, you get to grips with the digital pencil case, as it were, the toolkit, the Google tools. We're a Google reference college, so we use Drive and we use Docs and Sheets and different collaborative, creative tools for our students to work together in real time, using the sort of tools they'll be expected to be using in their respective careers. So we have barbering students working on calendars and creating social media that's professional for their portfolio. And we have engineering students using CAD tools and art students using portfolios and photography to actually enhance their employability skills when they display their work for assessment purposes, but also beyond that progression to employment, which we're, of course, very focused on at the college. In the digital induction, the first week, every single student gets that foundation in place whereby we teach them how to use this toolkit, how to hand in work in Google Classroom. Throughout the year, we get them using other tools. Again, tools that they'll be using in their respective industry. Things such as chat groups, using these tools professionally. We believe that getting our students to use these tools in a supportive, safe environment enables them to practice and get used to using different apps and solutions that they're going to be expected to be using in their different jobs and career paths. Having these tools as part of their teaching and learning toolkit, both in and outside the college, is really important to us because we're trying to mirror what industries expect, and training them for that is really important to us. And our qualifications are all aligned with industry expectations. Here we can see some portfolios, for example. So Aisha, lovely Aisha from art, did all of her work on her level 3 qualification and displayed it on this wonderful Instagram profile with videos, GIFs, images, and screen grabs to show her process, which her teachers could then use as assessment evidence, but also her universities, when she was going through the interview process, they could see her work in that interview. She could share on her tablet the work that she had done. Ben from barbering had a similar approach, whereby he would take these wonderful photographs and 360 images of his incredibly intricate cuts to actually display to potential clients, to let them know what options they've got, but also to advertise his own freelance career. And Abby on the right-hand side, who claimed to hate computers when she joined us, because it was out of her comfort zone. Not all students are the digital natives that a lot of tabloids make them out to be. Fine with using the tech of being a teenager, but not necessarily the tech of being productive and collaborative and using them professionally, as it were. Abby used this wonderful Weebly site to display her incredibly intricate makeup and horror designs and wedding makeup as well, and used it to promote herself to get freelance gigs to bring in money, which helped her again in that progression beyond the course, which again is very important to us. Here we can see some students debating and discussing with students in Birmingham, Alabama, in the United States, who have very different political views to some of us in Basingstoke, Hampshire, UK, particularly when it comes to things like gun control and Trump and racism. There were some really heated discussions between our students and their students, and it was really fascinating for us to see from different perspectives and have these really quite intense discussions. We see on the right-hand side here some of our students in childcare talking about social media and the mental health impact that it's had on them. That was emotional, actually, watching them do that. They live streamed 163 people watching live, them discussing this impact. This was really incredible in the sense that it gained criteria for their BTEC, but also it was a live experience that helped them to practice those communication skills that we value so much, and to think critically from other people's perspectives as well, because when as an audience watching, it tends to make people think more clearly about what we're saying. People who didn't want to appear on camera joined in on the Twitter hashtag FE Student Debate, and we do that every year. We have debates and discussions beyond the four walls of our classroom, using Facebook debate groups, for example, and Google chat rooms, whereby we can put provocative topics and topical issues into these spaces for students to discuss and debate in and outside the classroom. And in pre-COVID times, of course, you can see an image here of us having a live student debate as well. So that's a wonderful thing we do each year, and hopefully we'll be in a position whereby we can have something similar live in the lecture theatre again. If not, we'll have these spaces in Facebook and in Google chat, collaborating with other colleges to discuss and debate and to think from other perspectives beyond our own. We also use lots of other tools in lessons that facilitate students expressing themselves beyond just the written word. The written word, of course, is something we focus on enormously, and English is a massive part of all of our courses, but using photography, using video, using sketches to articulate our understanding is something we embrace as well. So here we see some students monitoring their progress with coloured in progress bars, so they can collaborate in real time on Jamboard, one of the tools we use, to actually show their progress, to annotate their work and update us on their projects with post-its and images. In the bottom right-hand corner, we can see some automotive students who highlighted key issues with a service collaboratively together at the same time in this Jamboard. Wonderful way for them to work as a team to actually highlight the key points. These tools and this technology is available to all of our students. Here we see public services in their operations room. So in the operations room, we can put on the screen a situation they have to respond to in this simulated environment, and they have to work collaboratively using spreadsheets, chats, documents that update in real time to help the individuals affected by the situation we are simulating. Here we see a major M3 collision, but we've had terrorist threats, for example, whereby it's a simulation where the students have to respond to a situation and make sure that they are looking after the public in the correct way and making sure that they are following the procedures of the area they want to go and work in. It might be a natural disaster and they have to perhaps guide the school bus down a particular road because maybe there's been a situation down one of the roads that they normally would be an evacuation point. Having the students collaborate in real time in these simulated environments using technology mirrors what they'll be expected to be doing in industry. It gives them a real live experience, or almost real life experience, what I mean to say. And at the top of the screen, it's recorded on the webcam for the teacher to use as assessment evidence, which is wonderful. Automotive do behind the scenes vlogs and behind the scenes documentaries, as it were, of their process and their progress when they're actually getting ready for a race. Having our students use YouTube, because we're a Google reference college, we've got access to YouTube as part of their accounts, they can actually capture this wonderful evidence. Again, beyond just the written word, we can capture video and audio and image evidence and save it in our unlimited Google Drive accounts. On the right-hand side, we see our wonderful access to healthcare students, many of whom speak 3, 4, 5 languages, but they sometimes want to practice their English skills. So recording podcasts so they can hear themselves back, record discussions, and use that as assessment evidence is something we do each year. And increasingly, a lot of our teachers record podcasts for the students as well to give them instruction. Here we see some of our teachers and some of our students using cameras to capture evidence and to show people how to carry out particular technical skills. Whether it be construction, showing people how to adjust and to implement different joining techniques, whether it be our makeup students capturing evidence of themselves actually going through the process of how to get the right measurements and how to speak to their clients, wonderful evidence for our teachers. Whether it be, as you can see in the top right-hand corner here, our students wearing these cams to actually capture evidence of how they can apply a technique. A far more robust and real life way of learning, as opposed to just writing a Word document about it. This is something that we like to use in all of our lessons to augment our teaching and learning. Because we all learn in different ways. We like to differentiate using different tools to actually help our students. YouTube is really popular with our students and with our teachers as a teaching and learning tool. Whether it be in the top left-hand corner, we can see a student being assessed via a verbal discussion, and the timestamps underneath the video there let the teachers know where they hit certain evidence in their verbal points they're raising. Or whether it be, as you can see in the other videos there, a teacher giving feedback to a student on their work, or going through an assignment brief and how to do it, or in the bottom right-hand corner, an English teacher going through an exam and explaining to the students bit by bit how to get the top marks on paper 1, question 4 that was. The students rewind, revisit, and access these tools as many times as they want. We pride ourselves on providing this bank of resources for our students. Here is an example of a form that we use to check in on students. Now, increasingly, this is becoming popular around the college, whereby we can get a little emotional check-in on our students. They can use emojis or let us know how many hours they're spending on their mobile phone, and they're being honest about it. And they give us some information, which helps us get a picture of their emotional well-being, as well as their digital health, something we're very keen on ensuring our students are conscious of, using digital tools as a force for good. The way they use these tools will help or haunt them in their careers, and we like to show our students the best way to use them to make them as employable as possible. Virtual reality is available at the college. We're at a stage whereby we are working with our health and safety team to make sure it is as robust and rigorous in terms of COVID cleanliness as possible. But we're going to be reintroducing it in the next term, whereby we can give students simulated experience doing an electrical exam or working at heights to identify health and safety hazards on a construction site, flying a plane, building an engine, going to the moon, working as a team to solve a problem. These are tools that are available and can be brought to any classroom. It's something we're going to be introducing more and more over the coming year, health and safety permitting, of course. We've introduced a new space, a floor at the college, Launch Space. Now, Launch Space is a suite of classrooms of the future. Now, we have in these spaces technology that is industry standard, that is a dream for a teacher. Our spaces have flexible furniture. That means they can move around, good for social distancing. We have technology in each area that is themed as well. So we have a healthcare room with CPR and e-dolls for the healthcare students to practice. We have green screen and cameras and lights in our creative room for our students studying media and art, and any other students who wish to use that room. We have a cybersecurity room for our computer science students, but it isn't exclusive to only the students for whom the actual technology relates. Any student can come and use these spaces with their teachers. And that's important to us, that technology is accessible to all students. It's not just the usual technological subjects. All subjects are going to benefit from using digital tools well. So that's really important to us, that accessibility. And our fourth room is the sustainability suite, whereby we have lots of tools in relation to the science of being eco-friendly. During lockdown, the college performed, I'm very happy to say, incredibly well. And Ofsted come in to do a learning review of the way we conducted ourselves. All lessons moved online, every single subject for 3.5, 4 months. We prepared the college by giving resources to our students, how-to guides on what they needed to do to access lessons remotely. On our dashboard, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner here, we simply gave our students a simple link. They clicked on a link and ding, straight into their virtual lesson with their teacher. And it was registered for them as well. That timetabled ritual carried on going. We did not let our students down. We provided support for our students' mental health as well. That was crucial to us. Our learning support team is outstanding here at the college, And they really came through for the students, providing one-to-one chat groups, separate video calls. Fantastic. Here's an example of a lesson. So Gemma in automotive would post a task in Google Classroom and record a little video of herself introducing it, let them know what they need to do. And then the students would use a lectude in this particular lesson, whereby they couldn't, of course, get hands-on with the cars in the workshop here at the college in lockdown, but they used a lectude to deduce and solve a problem in a simulation of an engine error under the bonnet. And they had 30-40 minutes to carry out that task. At the end of the session, Gemma would say, okay, join me back in the class at 10:40 and we'll see how you problem solved. And students would then share their screens and talk about how they worked through the task. A genuinely innovative, creative, flipped learning session where the responsibility went over to the students to carry out a task. You will see the wonderful Vicky Soames, who teaches on our teaching qualification as well as media and many other courses here at the college as well. So here's an example of Vicky giving a timer for her students to carry out a task, to ask questions to her while they were given clear instruction and time to actually carry out a task. Using Google Meet and other tools, the teachers at the college were able to engage students, to have that rapport and relationship with them, that connection throughout lockdown. And this has come along at the college, this ability to have our students using tools like TikTok to capture videos of our students carrying out haircuts, or on the left-hand side here, Justin doing tutorials at home in lockdown of how to make hoisin pork noodles, I believe it is there, and his students then made some and shared their work in the video call. All this has come about because it's our 5th year now of embracing technology the way we have done in teaching and learning. 1 hour of every single course is a flipped learning hour. What I mean by that is there's 1 hour of every single timetable and every single course where the students work independently, developing their digital skills. This is something we've prided ourselves on for 5 years now. So the college is ready, has been ready for a long time, to help students work using digital tools. This is why in lockdown we were able to adapt the way we did. Now, of course, we want to be face-to-face as much as possible, and we are 100% open at the moment, of course, but we have that facility and that capability, and the staff are just incredible. They adapted so well. Here we can see me taking Meg into a one-to-one chat room, just have a catch up with her because it wasn't appropriate to talk in front of the entire class. We now have a breakout rooms feature in Google Meet where we can have the students work in smaller groups. Students can go into a separate meet to talk about any issues relating to safeguarding or anything they're perhaps unsure of or embarrassed to talk about in front of their classmates. If we go into a lockdown, if we need to work remotely, we have the option at video link via Google Meet or Google Chat to stay connected with our students, both as a class and individually in small groups as well. Here's some nice examples. Alice in beauty, great teacher. She's got our students capturing videos and taking photographs of the skin cell structure and uploading that to Google Classroom as evidence of one of their sessions in lockdown. Really creative approach. Sharon in childcare gets her students using all sorts of technology, annotating diagrams, using great YouTube videos, collaborative Padlet walls where the students can add virtual post-its on a virtual wall at the same time. Great teacher. Martha from our public services team, bringing in guest speakers in particular to talk to the students. That's something we've embraced quite a lot, actually, bringing in guest speakers into our lessons remotely. Something we've learned we can do quite easily now using the toolkit we've got. That's been really crucial to us in terms of making sure we've got that access to the outside world and that connection with industry all the time. Our makeup courses are doing some fantastic work. In lockdown, this work was created using wonderful tools on apps, on iPhones in particular. Things like Adobe Spark Post and Canva and Snapseed, these free tools to create this wonderful evidence for their portfolios. Something else I want to share with you quickly is this one here, Century Tech. This is one of the tools we have at the college whereby our students who are resitting English and maths have access to this artificial intelligence platform that works alongside the students when they're revising and identifies the areas they need some help in. and provides personalised, bespoke tasks. And all the while, the machine, the artificial intelligence, is learning how best they learn, providing activities, animations, graphics, drag and drop, multiple choice, and giving that information to the teachers, so the teachers know what areas they need to focus on in class. As you can see, in 1 year, over a quarter of a million questions were answered using Sentry, freed up a lot of our teachers' time to actually focus on the human, one-to-one, interactive, pastoral teaching that can never be replaced by technology. We only use technology to enhance teaching and learning. That's all it is, just a toolkit. So that is our use of technology at the college. At the college, we pride ourselves in ensuring that all courses are enhanced using technology, and we are led by our teaching experts and what industry needs, and we only use these tools to prepare our students for what they're going to be expected to be doing in the future. So hopefully that's been of use and of interest to you. Have you got any questions for me?
Thank you, Scott. What an interesting session. We'll now move on to the questions. Let's start with, let me just get the first one up. So the question is, what grades do you need to become a games designer?
Yes, please make sure you go into the games design course with my colleague Peter Gordon, exceptional teacher. To get onto the level 3 games design course, you will need to have 4 grades at, no, I believe it's 5 grades, apologies, 5 grades at grade 4 or higher. English and maths, ideally as well. Of course, if you fall short and don't quite manage to get those 5 grades at grade 4 or higher, then we have a level 2 course, a level 2 creative media course, which is a bit broader. You cover other media skills as well as games design, such as film, TV, journalism, animation. But that is a 1-year course that helps the student progress to the level 3 a year later. And that's a very common route for many of our students who don't quite manage to get those 5 grade 4 grades or higher at the first time. So please go along to Peter Gordon's talk. He's an exceptional teacher and he's done incredible things with the games design department.
Okay, thanks, Scott. The next question is, with COVID still a major issue, are you still able to do practicals or are they on hold until 2021?
Practicals are going ahead in terms of our teaching and learning. In fact, what COVID has done is made us as teachers rethink the way we use our precious face-to-face time in the classroom. I think it's made us, from talking to my peers around the college, it's made us rethink the time we spend in the classroom. The time in the classroom is so precious. And in fact, using that time for practicals, for the hands-on physical tasks, as it were, in sessions like construction in particular, and hair and beauty and barbering, we've realised that the face-to-face time is so crucial for those, not only the practical hands-on skills, but for the teamwork skills, the collaboration skills, the human interpersonal, compassionate skills, which are as important as anything else. So the classroom tasks we're very much using for these type of skills to be developed. Our flipped learning hour, that independent digital hour, that's where we're developing a lot of the digital skills, the stuff that can be done remotely, as it were. But in terms of practical skills, the college is very much moving ahead, and we've got our health and safety procedures around the college are exceptional. The work that Katrina and the team have done, and the individual curriculum areas, particularly hair and beauty, the area is just fantastic what they've done to make sure the students are safe and secure while continuing to develop practical skills. It's really exceptional. So yes, speak to the guys in the curriculum area and they'll give you further information.
That's great. What GCSEs do you need to become an engineer, and what grades do you need?
So again, I would encourage you to speak to the curriculum team in engineering. Typically for a level 3 qualification, it's 5 grade 4s or higher, typically speaking. And if you fall short of that, then it will be a level 2 equivalent of that same qualification. So for engineering, maths will be valued quite highly. So it will be the maths grade in particular that's going to be something the engineering curriculum team will be wanting to see on the CV, as it were, when you come for enrolment.
What support is offered for those with dyslexia?
So our learning support team is exceptional, truly exceptional. In lockdown in particular, the one-to-one video chats, even things like the pastoral side of things in terms of playing online Scrabble to keep people engaged remotely, it was absolutely wonderful to see. To help people with dyslexia, we've got a wonderful set of tools, in particular one called Text Help and Read and Write, which provides a screen reader. It reads the screen out to the students. It is a truly wonderful accessibility tool that sits in the Google Chrome browser, and it makes all web pages accessible and makes them far more easy to understand and digest for many of our dyslexic students. Teaching creative media part-time, as well as my role as head of digital learning here at the college, we have many learners actually who learn differently, and many learners with dyslexia actually, and it's been a very popular tool with them this year, and it's something that me and my team in particular would love to come and help all students use, and it's something in the next term we're going to be doing actually. So with dyslexia, we have a wonderful accessibility toolkit to help people, which we're really proud of.
That's fantastic. This is a question, I'm going to read it, and you might understand it better than me, but it says, how do you speak to the different teams? And I'm assuming they mean who to contact.
How do you speak to the different teams?
Yeah.
So in terms of tonight, there'll be, after this session, you'll be able to talk to different curriculum areas. So it's my job at the college to help all staff and all students with technology in the classroom. After this session, you'll be able to go and speak into the curriculum teams to get to the detail about each specific course.
Fantastic. Some great questions from our viewers there, and some great advice from Scott. Thank you all for joining us. We hope this session has inspired you to study at the Bishopsgate College of Technology. Don't forget, if you are ready to apply, you can do so online. Visit bcot.ac.uk/apply. There's also more subject talks happening this evening. If you want to find out more about a specific course area, just register to join at bcoc.ac.uk/VOE. If you asked a question and we didn't have a chance to answer it, please feel free to speak to our staff who are live now on the Q&A chat room. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoyed the rest of your talks this evening.